The problem with the culture at Wexford, as she perceived it, was that it was a culture that encouraged this sort of sexualized behavior of the students. When she did reach out to one of the female teachers to try and get some satisfaction for what was going on, to sort of complain about what was going on, she was essentially told, well, you're all in the words tits and thighs, and essentially suggesting she was only good to be pregnant. So it was very demoralizing to be there for her. It was very difficult for her to be there, and this charged sexual culture where the teachers were massaging, looking down her shirt, and then what culminated later in a sexual assault that was essentially a sexual assault that was done publicly in front of other teachers, and no one intervened and no one did anything to step in to suggest that perhaps this was inappropriate, and then to check if the student was then okay after the fact. They just let it go and swept it under the rug. So this is why we're going after Toronto District School Board specifically, because they have a duty to their students to protect them and to make sure that they are okay, and they have a fiduciary duty to their students to make sure that they are okay. And if they see this going on, you cannot sweep it under the rug. You cannot pretend it doesn't happen. You are obliged to do something morally, ethically, and legally.
So she said that she was at her senior prom. First of all, there was a build-up to the assaults for a period of time in the year leading up to the assault. The teacher in question continually would tell her in private conversations things like, your boyfriend isn't man enough for you, as was alluded to, constantly looking down her top, things of that nature. And the assault itself took place at the prom in front of at least 2 other teachers as well as a number of students. He carried her onto the dance floor, forced her into a dance, and at the end of the dance dipped her, groped her chest, and kissed her, as she described it, in a sexual way, but in a manner that obviously made her feel very dirty and ashamed. She wanted to go public with it. There's 2 reasons. First of all, she suffered tremendously. She's been forced to drop out of university as a result of her mental health issues. She's not where a 26-year-old ought to be at this stage because of this. So there's clearly what we would call legally a loss of competitive advantage that she's facing. She's incurred and will continue to incur thousands of dollars in psychotherapy and psychological counseling, things that are not covered by our OHIP system. So we'd like the school board to compensate her for that. Additionally, she's asked us to go public with it because she knows that there are other students who have, at that school and at other schools in the TDSB, who have suffered like her, and who, like her, are probably sort of, tamping down those emotions. As she described it, she felt slut-shamed for many years by the teachers and the other students, and that was one of the reasons she didn't go public. And she wants the message to be out there that you need to come forward. I'm out here. I'm doing something about it. Please come forward and help yourself and help other women in your situation.